For everyone in the chat, for everyone watching, of course we are mid-series and one of these players is up 2-1.
Yeah. But which one? As we continue our series here. On romantic side, LE in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. We have the red Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He is Micro Jackson himself. Gonna be representing his team Shopify Rebellion. He is, of course, ByuN.
And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player who is currently down 1-2 in this best of 5. Can he bring it back? Representing Team NV, it is Creator.
Oh boy, a very familiar face here on the ESL Open Cup Asia versus somebody who has, as we mentioned a lot, been pretty inactive when it came to playing in online weeklies. I mean, that was kind of his big thing, right? Back in the start of Legacy to Void, 2015, 2016. He was the one player who would sign up for every weekly. He was basically Zest and Cure before Zest and Cure. But after a while, he realized that, that wasn't as effective of a training regimen. Sometimes it was better to just practice and prepare for specific opponents offline and what have you, grind out certain build orders. And that was something that has paid off for him since he's returned from the military, right? I mean, he tried to play in a bunch of weekly events, and it was cool seeing him, but after a while he decided, I'm going to focus more on just preparing for
Yeah, kind of. So, I mean, if you recall, when he did play in all those weeklies, he had a lot of success, and it was great. It was beautiful. He did incredibly well for himself. More recently, if you remember, he was also quite active a couple of months ago in all these weeklies. But the biggest problem with that, and this is something that we, I know some people quite forget about it, but were his wrists. It caused him quite a lot of pain, and competing at the highest level, especially in a weekly, which is a very I want to say it takes a lot of stamina to get through because it's series after series after series.
Exactly.
It did take its toll.
Well, that ties in as well, right? Because then he realized, if I keep playing in these weeklies, my wrists are going to be shattered by the time I actually play my match in Premier Event, so I'd rather just, make efficient use of my time. Or what limited time I have to practice each day before my wrists tell me to stop. Kind of MVP-esque, I guess.
Yeah. So we'll see how he does here this week. Hopefully he's feeling okay. Hopefully there aren't any issues. Yeah, hopefully there aren't any issues regarding that, especially if we do head towards the grand finals and if he does make it that far. Again, much love to ByuN. And yeah, we'll see as we get into this series. So far, nothing too crazy when it comes to the openers.
Yeah. There's just going to be a segue to remind everybody to stretch and get good posture. You don't want to blow out your wrists.
Yeah, definitely.
Creator being pretty safe right now. Going for Blink first, throwing that hallucinated Phoenix out to scout. He sees the tech lab on that starport, and he also sees the medevac. He's probably thinking Widow Mines, right? But we know that it's not, and what is going on outside?
Yeah, as the drop heads towards the natural base, we do see a warping of Stalker, so we do have some units here to meet the drop for Creator as the Marines are revealed and they are forced back.
Yeah. That's kind of the problem with dropping Marines this early on instead of Widow Mines. You can't really YOLO them the same way.
You can't commit as you would otherwise. Meanwhile, the Marines are rotating around. I love this. He's meeting up with the reinforcing Widowmine here to maybe make something happen towards a third or just go straight into the main base. What is a little bit worrisome is that Creator is setting up a proxy location. A proxy pylon does get scouted.
Oh,
my god.
You're gonna throw an auto turret there or something?
That'd be crazy.
He knows, yeah. He knows not to tangle with going for auto turret harass now, at the very least, so it's something. ByuN hasn't seen that third base yet, but his medevac is primed to try to cancel it. Just head a little bit towards the north, ByuN!
As you just see the Widowmine trying to catch some of these workers. Also, Creator, he's trying to catch that Raven. The Raven does double back and is skirting the edge of the map, just barely avoiding these Stalkers.
Yeah, as a wise man once told me,
Oh,
don't think of it as an off timing, think of it as a timing that will catch your opponent off guard. And that was a nice little connection there. One single Widowmine that really shouldn't have gotten any damage done. It's 3 probes.
yeah.
Nicely done.
Nicely done indeed. Meanwhile, in comes the Raven, getting ready to throw down an auto turret. At the same time, we have that medevac drop looking to... Oh, there we go. He does pull the trigger. Is head towards the main base.
Man, ByuN, yeah, really wants to go into the main, which, again, I feel like he could have tried to drop into the third base and deal a little bit of damage there, but I don't know. I guess he thinks that Creator would be able to defend him against it regardless, so he'd rather go for scouting information as well as damage.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, like, there was some amazing micro there by Creator. He shuts down the medevac, he shuts down the drop in total, and sure, he actually doesn't lose a lot at all to the drop, but the Raven came in and 5 probes did end up going down.
Yeah, a little bit of lost mining time as well. So ByuN having not the biggest of leads when it comes to his economy, but has been able to sort of stall Creator a little bit longer as he builds towards his +1 timing.
That he is. Meanwhile, we do have a bunch of Stalkers out here with Blink. Unfortunately, there's no high ground vision. Oh my god, but he's gonna catch the army.
That he is. Stim has finished up, not simming the entire army, just the units in the front. Because he knows that's going to be enough to chase away these Stalkers. He doesn't have to waste the medevac energy. I like it. And he's beating them back.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice little volley.
Creator, again, he was trying to catch the army as it was moving out, but ByuN was ready and waiting for those Stalkers to double back.
Man, he's got 3 tanks out now to deal with the Stalkers. He's switching now into Widowmines, which is just gonna have a much better, which is just gonna scale a lot better as the game continues, especially against Charged Archon. +1 is finished up. Concussive Shells is finished up, and Combat Shields is very closely behind.
Yeah, ByuN still has to be careful. There's a bit of a Zealot run by, and he's going to catch a couple of SCVs. There we go. I love this. ByuN is already pre-siege. I was about to say that if he tries to push up this ramp, I do think the Creator can just jump on the army and clean it up, especially if he is caught unsieged. But here, ByuN, he is set up.
He is set up, but what is he really threatening, setting up that far to the back? He unsieges now, and he's looking to push up that ramp. Creator not going for the flank on the army, instead going for a big run by.
Mate, he just blinked up into his main base. He completely exposes his third, and now ByuN is pushing on in.
Man, what prompted him to blink up there?
I have no idea.
That's what I want to know.
I have absolutely no idea. Oh,
yeah. It's not like there was a medevac or anything.
Yeah, exactly. There was no Raven harassing either. The third base immediately goes down, but at the same time, that massive Zealot run by is forcing the third base of ByuN to lift. But again, it's lifted.
On the ramp.
Exactly.
Yeah, the third base is lifted. He's evacuating most of his SCVs, fighting on that choke point for a long enough time that the rest of the reinforcements can deal with the rest of the aggression. Creator storing his way. Beautiful anti-armor missile. Widowmines get some connections, and the rest of the army gets baited on top of the siege tanks, or at least in siege tank range. Creator forced to pull the boys, and I mean, he may be able to live. Never mind, he taps out. GG, we get a TvT finals.
Wow.
That looked clean from
ByuN.
ByuN.
GG, well played there. Creator a little bit frazzled. Also, just some mistakes when it comes to the decision making, right? Other than the fact that he blinked into his main and he backed off completely with his entire army. Going for that massive Zealot run by was very risky, and if those Zealots were at home instead to defend, he would have been perfectly fine. It was interesting as well because Creator knew where the army was, he knew how large it was, he knew where the tanks were sieged. It's possible that maybe, like, as like the clock was ticking, he thought that maybe ByuN had sieged up and was maybe trying to go for a drop in the main or something like that.
Potentially.
I have to imagine that he assumed that the army was rotating elsewhere when really it was just in the same place, pushing towards that third, and just one wrong move like that just cost creator the game.
Yeah, I mean, it is fairly common, right? When you are in those scenarios as a Terran player, you push forward, you siege up, you're not quite able to push into the third base, so what do? You set up a drop at another location, to the main base or into the natural base. Creator may have been anticipating that, but you can never rely on anticipations. In StarCraft 2, you gotta scout, you gotta get vision, you know?
And that massive... Exactly. So we'll see how this finals turns out, because you mentioned it for the first time, for the very first time in the entirety.
Second time in my memory.
Again, a lot of things happen in the brain of Yaku. Shaking my head.
Do things happen in my brain?
I guess it's a lack of processing that happens, I guess. If you want to put it that way, okay, Yaku. God damn it.
You gave me an opportunity to like save myself.
Yeah, you just knocked yourself down, mate. I don't know what the hell that was about. Jesus Christ. I will have you know, sir, that there is nothing going on in my brain. It's like, okay, cool. But yes, for the very first time, TvT Grand Finals in ESL Open Cup Asia.
Yeah.